On this week's episode of the Fizz, Channy Football and I hang out without Ice Cold Brew Lou, who is enjoying the fine beaches of Mexico. But that doesn't mean we don't talk about one of his darkest college memories, which leads us down a terrible path of shit bandits in college. You'll just have to listen to understand what I'm talking about. After that, we talk a little Ben Johnson. We go all in on the Super Bowl. We do a Red Wings recap. Channy complains about the Pistons, and then we can close with over under. But before we get into all of that, I have to tell you about our amazing sponsor, which is Michigan-made Vosa. Vosa is a ready-to-drink vodka beverage that is sold in stores all over Michigan as it was made in the Mitten State. If you guys like flavored vodka without carbonation, with light flavoring, you're going to want to try their vodka waters. But if you do like carbonation, you like a little more flavoring, a little more sweetness, and a higher alcohol by volume, give their Highline a try. Vosa, like I said, made here in Michigan, owned by the Kate Upton. Wonderful brand, always sponsors the Fizz and Champaign Athletics. Vosa is finely crafted and perfectly mixed. Vosa, enjoy the finer things. But now, let's get into the Fizz. Hello and welcome to episode 140 of The Fizz. Thank you all for being here. I am with the main man, Channy Football, to my left. How we doing, Chan?
We're doing great, man. Super Bowl week, a little less excitement than normal, but we're here. We're ready.
Couldn't agree more. We are here. Who is not here is Ice Cold Brew Lou. He is on the beaches of Mexico, enjoying vacation in Cabo.
Rumor has it we will hear from him, though, later in the podcast.
That's the word on the street. Is he Cabo or Cancun?
Cabo.
Got it. Okay, I did have that right. You know what I was thinking, too, is like if the Lions would have made the Super Bowl and he was just like missing this one, like we would have made
He's gone at this point.
Yeah, he's
gone at that point.
Yeah, he sent me a snap of him like chugging a margarita at like 9 a.m., which I think is like 6 a.m. Mexico time.
Well, I will one-up you with that. Our buddy that watched the Lions game with me last week, his father-in-law actually planned a Disney trip for Super Bowl weekend, and he was okay with it because he didn't think the Lions were going to make the Super Bowl. So when they were up last week, he was kind of freaking out how he was going to have to be in Disney World during the Lions' first Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a weird dilemma.
Very weird dilemma. He's like, it didn't really occur to me. He's like, it was before the season. I never thought they'd get there, but.
Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because in the back of my head, I have a pretty lengthy trip planned for May, and that would be the Eastern Conference Finals if the Red Wings are there. So
trust the Iser plan. We'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. We'll figure it out.
That's right.
I'm not too worried about it.
That's right.
But hey, here we are, episode 140. Obviously, last week was, the misery episode with the Lions. Very tough. I'm still not really 100% over it. Obviously, I'm moping a lot less. It's kind of wild, like the break you get between the Super Bowl and the last game feels like an eternity. It feels like it wasn't like 10 days ago that we just
It's almost like a different season. It's like it's the first game of next season almost, or the first event of next season.
Yeah, and like even seeing all the, like Gibbs and Amon-Ra and all them at the Pro Bowl, Laporta, Sewell, it's almost like you like forget how close we got.
I still don't feel like our season's over yet. Like it hasn't hit me. We're still seeing them. We're still hearing from the players. We're still watching highlights. Like I feel like our season, even though the NFL season isn't over with, our season still hasn't ended yet.
Yeah, and there's still we're still in the news, like legitimate news. I mean, so on one end of it, you have Anzalone, who wrote the letter to Detroit in the Players Tribune, which hit everyone in the fields. And I felt like that was actually pretty cathartic for a lot of, at least personally for me, and like Lions fans. And that whole like grit mentality and they'll be back and they all want it. Like, it's not bullshit. Like, you're getting the players writing these articles saying exactly what we're thinking, exactly what the team embodies. And all it feels like is just Super Bowl or bust.
And it's everybody. You heard Brad Holmes talk this week, and he was a little snippy with everyone, as he should be.
That was wild.
Because of the criticism.
I thought that was crazy.
Yes, because of the criticism he has received. He was giving it back to the reporters for all they wrote about the draft this year and previous years. You hear Anzalone you hear Campbell, you hear Amon-Ra St. Brown. I feel like everyone's in lockstep. You hear Penei Sewell, that's just like, this season was kind of shit. Like,
right.
I want to forget about it and move on. Like, everyone is in lockstep that it's unfinished business and we're coming back for more next year.
It's crazy. And it just like, I read that Anzalone thing and I just missed the team so much already.
I do too.
We were just so like, our lives were just the Lions and the Kool-Aid for like,
we were drowning
for so many weeks.
We were drowning. So I know you had a lot of coverage on it in your account, on the Instagram account, the whole Ben Johnson ordeal.
Yeah. So I was kind of just staying away from this because like truly when Ben Johnson said, turn around, or he said, I'm taking the Lions job. We're all happy, excited, blah, blah. Schefter tweeted out that original tweet basically saying like, it was never a lock. He was going to be the coach and, they turned the jet around, all this shit, which made no sense because they didn't have to actually turn the jet around because they were going for Aaron Glenn. But I didn't read Schefter's original tweet as anything negative towards Ben Johnson. And maybe I'm just oblivious and clueless, which clearly I was. But my buddy texted me and said, like, is he taking a shot at Ben here?
Right.
And I was like, I don't think so. I think he's just reporting it. And then you see him go on Pat McAfee, and then he tweets out all this other stuff. And then you're like, okay. And you have to remember, like, he's in bed with Washington, whatever that is. And then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's taking a dig at him. He's taking a dig.
He's taking a dig. It almost feels like when we talked about it in an earlier podcast, that Dean Blandino, where it was like a really weird tone around the whole Lions and the same old and what's going on with their current situation. I feel like Schefter's kind of taking that route. Like, he's just taking it way too far. Like, move on, man. Like, it's not that big of a story to me.
And, like, he's trying so hard to make it a big deal. And so this article came out from The Ringer, and it was the first piece of media that came out, I felt, national media that came out in defense of Ben Johnson. And I've never heard of this guy, Riley McAtee from The Ringer, wrote this article that I just thought was fucking awesome, and I want to applaud that guy. The headline is, "The Commanders are not mad about Ben Johnson. Please don't put in the newspaper that they got mad." And that's the whole tongue-in-cheek tone of this whole article, and it just defends the entire situation of Ben Johnson from, like, just because you're the team doing the interviewing doesn't mean the coordinators aren't interviewing you as well.
Right.
And he puts in here that if you take a head coaching job and it doesn't go well, that could be your only shot, so you want to make sure it's the right fit. And maybe Ben Johnson just realized how good it is in Detroit. And it's just a full on defense of Ben Johnson. Just like saying, maybe he wasn't fully thinking about this interview as much as he should. He accepted to take the interview, but then 2 days after getting that close with Detroit, he decided he wants to stay here. Just everything that we already know that's common sense, he kind of puts out in writing. And I thought he did a very good job.
And let's look at the other side of the coin, because I like how you said that. We're like, hey, the coordinators are interviewing the franchises as well. It's not just, hey, we want you, we have the right to do whatever. To my understanding, teams, and I don't know if the Commanders in specific were, but teams were talking to Ben Johnson during a playoff run. Like, for him to do that and during a playoff run and getting ready for an NFC championship game, to have phone interviews or conversations with these teams, I mean, where's the respect there?
Yeah.
This guy's trying to get ready for the biggest game of his life, and he's still taking time to get on a Zoom or a phone interview with you. And then you're going to get mad because 2 days after the season ends, he doesn't want to do the in-person interview. It just feels so slanted towards the franchise, and then also slanted towards the Commanders in this case. And to me, it looks like a smear campaign, or somewhat of a smear campaign.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And, like, I mean, just think of us the week leading up to that game, and we didn't have anything to do except, like, drink and scream at the TV, and I could barely focus on anything. Like, what the hell was Ben Johnson thinking about? And it just makes, like, this whole thing of just, like, he has ruined his reputation is honestly one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
It's ridiculous.
It's like, so if we go next year, we win the division and we go to the Super Bowl, you think everyone's going to look back on making the one of the most one of an organization with one of the worst reputations? Think people are going to think back to that interview where he turned around?
Right.
No one's going to give a shit.
It's just wild to think that he's 37 years old.
Yeah.
He's 37 years old. He's still very young for a coach. And B, look at these guys that are running around. I guess it's more so in college football than the NFL, but like a Hugh Freeze. Like, this guy's the biggest scumbag at Ole Miss. He's paying guys. He's doing things on the side.
Dude.
He's just running a racket down at Ole Miss. What does he do? He goes to Liberty for a couple years, and then he winds back up at Auburn. Like, let's not play this game that, like, football coaches are like these high-character guys inside and outside of the building, and we only hire coaches that are of high character.
Yeah, and, like, even like characters, he canceled a meeting.
Yeah.
So he canceled a meeting too close to meeting time of a place they were already coming to.
Right.
This turnaround the jet thing is such bullshit unless they're just showing their hand that Aaron Glenn was a Rooney Rule interview, which they are. They're showing their hand on that.
Yeah.
It's
if there was
like,
no interest.
It's so dumb. It's such a non-story. And like, credit Pat McAfee for like calling Schefter out and saying like, you are like in bed with Washington Commanders, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was good of him to say that. And my other thing is there any truth to this basketball quote where, you know, Ben Johnson, quote unquote, said he may not go there because they were basketball guys? Like, is there any validity to this quote? Has anyone confirmed that on either side?
I don't think anything that has been like, so some of the quotes about Ben Johnson, they call him a newbie power broker, a perceived wonderkind option. I honestly don't know what that means. Wonderkind?
It's just like a German word. It's like really good for being young.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wonderkind. Producer Mike has let us know that wonderkind is a German word. You're not on a mic, right?
No.
Okay. No. You want to say it? Okay. Whatever.
Producer Mike is very well read.
Yes, very well read. They call him commitment phobic. They call him not ready to rumble. They call him a false idol. They also say that Johnson's hefty compensation demands for a second-year quarterback, head coaching apprehension. None of these like are confirmed. Like, I don't know where these quotes came from. And I feel like I'm like happy Ben Johnson has said like nothing. Like, there's nothing to do here. He's safe here in Detroit.
Yep.
His reputation is only strengthened by this. So why the fuck would he care about what the Washington Commanders think? And what's beautiful about this whole argument, which is just awesome, is like for the first time in our long storied fanhood, like of us, like we have the upper hand to talk shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're the better team.
We've earned it.
We're the better team.
We've earned it.
And
we
Washington's
can be cocky.
A dumpster fire.
Yeah, of course. We can be cocky. We're an NFC
nice is
championship team, and we were 15 minutes short from going to the Super Bowl. We can be a little cocky. Ben, you can stay here as long as you'd like, and you can tell every jet in the air to turn around. I don't really give a damn. You're welcome here in Detroit.
Yeah, and there's so many of these moves in sports, I feel like, where it's just like, is the grass actually, greener? Like, would it have been better if Izzo took that job with the Cavs back when he got offered? Probably not.
Look at what happened to Beeline.
Right.
It's not always the grass isn't greener. And again, he's got so much time. He's 37 years old. These coaches are coaching till their upper 60s and lower 70s. You don't think he's got a chance in the next 3 decades to land a job that fits him and his family?
It's a joke.
It's
an absolute joke to say that his reputation is ruined. No one gives a shit if he wins. If he wins a Super Bowl, like
no, I agree. I mean, do you think we're just going to talk about the Lions every week until the season next year?
I didn't expect him to give us more juice this week.
I know.
I thought we'd be done. And then Anzalone wrote that article, which if anybody wants chills or tears or wants to buy season tickets, like read that article. It talks about how like he's living in a condo on a 1-year contract. The team's 1-10-1, and they have a small child, and like how everything's changed since that moment.
And you're always welcome here too, Anzalone.
Absolutely.
You are a fan favorite here. So usually we're talking about mock draft 2.0 at this point in the season.
Yeah,
and I'm glad we're not even thinking about it.
And I was thinking about too, like when the draft actually comes, who the hell, especially at this table, is going to question anything Holmes does? Not that we ever did, really.
Right.
We were just kind of like, whoa, that's wild. But now, like, think of the media when he drafts someone nuts.
I mean, unless he took a punter or a long snapper,
Which
I would even back up a kicker in the first round at this point.
Need one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm not going to question anything. He could trade up and take Caleb Williams, and I'd say, well, you know what? He's got a plan at this point in time.
Play him at wideout.
Yeah, exactly. So Lions in the news, staying relevant. I love it. We're going to talk about them all throughout the offseason, and I'm looking forward to it.
Coming up.
Looking forward to it. So even though Ice Cold Brew Lou isn't here,
R.I.P.
He messaged me this week with a Facebook memory, and he's like, "You got to bring this up on the podcast. It happened 13 years ago." So there's no like great way to segue into this other than
there never is with his topic.
Way back when. We're gonna look back to a time 13 years ago when myself and Ice Cold Brew Lou were roommates in college, and we're just meeting Frank, and we had some parties at our house. So let's go down memory lane. So 13 years ago this week, Pizzo wrote a status that reminded us of maybe the craziest incident we had at Michigan State. And what happened was we hosted a big party, and we had a ton of people. And we had this group of girls up that really we didn't see too much. You kind of knew them from high school. You kind of didn't. Like, kind of random that they came, and they kind of wanted to stay at our house. And we're like, maybe not. Long story short, this group of girls, about 4 or 5, so there's 4 or 5 suspects in this case that's never been broken.
Okay.
Group of girls goes up into the upstairs bathroom, goes to the bathroom, whatever. Party happens, great, a lot of fun. Next morning we wake up, go to the bathroom, smells like shit. Pizzo must be shitting like a horse because he drank 100 beers the night before. Go to the bathroom in the afternoon. Pearl must have just woke up and took a shit because he had greasy fast food at 4 a.m. yesterday.
I love you breaking down all the boys' shits.
Monday morning, I took a shit. So, hey, the bathroom smells. Monday afternoon, we kind of look at each other like, what's that smell?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you didn't take a shit, did you? And Lou's like, no. And Pearl's like, I didn't take a shit either. So we start walking around the bathroom, and we're looking, and I mean, it's like gotten progressively worse after the Saturday party. So we get into the bathroom, and we're looking, and then all of a sudden it's like a scene out of a movie when they find like the treasure. We open the vanity doors of the vanity underneath the sink, and it was just like glowing, and it like hit us like a waft of like baby shit and like rotting carcass hit us. So we're like, oh my God, something must have happened. So we look at each other, and like, I'm kind of gagging thinking about it, but we like drew straws, and we're like, okay, this is our bathroom. One of us 3 has to clean this up. So we drew straws, and of course, Pearl, who had the weakest stomach, he got the straw to investigate and to remove it. So he starts going through the vanity, and sure as shit, no pun intended, someone pooped in a Kleenex box.
Oh, my God.
Wiped their ass with either toilet paper or Kleenex and threw it in the Kleenex box and left it under our vanity.
Holy God.
And we were thinking that it was from this group of girls because there was a little spite, and there was 4 or 5 of them that all went in the bathroom at once. And to this day, 13 years later, the poop next box, a.k.a. the Kleenex poop, has still not been solved.
You had a shit bandit.
We had a shit bandit.
Dude, that's insane.
If I had the resources, the knowledge, maybe the financial means right now, I probably would have sent it into a lab for some DNA testing to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, we didn't care because,
And you don't have the poop anymore.
We don't have the poop anymore.
Pearl didn't keep it?
No, Pearl didn't keep it. The rest of the house smelled like shit, to be fair, but not like poop.
I feel like that's insane, and that's only a story that would... And you guys are like dead set it was these girls.
There is no one else that went into this bathroom and would have disrespected us like that.
You don't think, Pizzo might have shit in a box?
I mean, that could be big brain.
That's what I'm saying.
Pizzo,
this is like, and he's like, hey, bring it up on the show,
He could have done that.
He's laughing on the beach in Mexico. Convenient he plans the trip around the 13-year anniversary of this. I'm just saying. I'm just looking at it from an outside perspective is all I'm doing.
I will say
It's pretty convenient.
I'm going to put him on blast. He did shit on our balcony once, blackout drunk.
All right. Okay. So I'm just connecting dots here. So, and you guys drew straws to see who would clean it out. This sounds like a long play.
And I think Pizzo led the charge on who was
he was like,
drawing
these
the
girls are
screen.
bitches. Probably because he probably wanted to get with one of them.
Told him no.
Yeah, probably one of them turned him down, and he was like, I'm making him the
Dots
shit bandit.
connecting
Dude,
in real time here.
when he's back, and what's wild is because I had a lot of friends who went to Western, and my wife went to Western, and they experienced a shit bandit like for years there.
So what's a shit bandit consist of?
Just someone shit somewhere and you don't know who it is. They shit
Really?
in an undesirable place or like a place that they shouldn't be
like a
shitting.
serial shitter?
Literally anywhere but a toilet, they're
Okay.
shitting. Or I mean, the woods, I guess, can be
Gotcha.
acceptable, but like somewhere they shouldn't be shitting,
Mm-hmm.
and they called him the shit bandit. But this went on for years at Western for the years that my friends were there.
So like, what are some of the most obscene places that he shit? Like on carpet?
The tub, like in the tub.
Holy shit!
And then my buddy, this is not even on the show sheet, but my buddy
shit,
to
dude.
clean it, drew the straw to clean it. Same
Come on,
scenario.
dude.
Same scenario. Someone opens the shower door or like the curtain. The curtain, and there's a turd sitting there, and this is the shit bandit at Western. Maybe same person. We don't know. Pizzo don't know. And he drew the straw to clean it up, my buddy. And what does he do in true college fashion? Just turns on the hot water and tries to like melt her
Come
down.
on, dude.
Yes.
Steaming shit.
Yeah. He tried to melt it and like jam it through the drain.
Come on, man.
I hope there's someone out there, their first time listening to the show is this one. So
If you are the shit bandit, please DM
there's
Champagne
more.
Athletics.
There's more. So yes, there's more. If you have a shit bandit, please let us know. So I know anybody from Western who had to deal with the shit bandit is probably like screaming at this right now,
Mm-hmm.
because there was so many of them and I just can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember the tub one, and then I think it culminated with a coffee table, like right out in the middle of the living
The
room.
climax was the coffee
It
table.
was the final shit. It was like the last act.
Oh my! So like you're facing the big hand in Super Smash Brothers.
Correct. And it
Okay.
was like, I think it was near the, like towards graduation, and someone like, did it at like an hour where everyone was asleep, and we don't know who.
I was just gonna say, how do you?
I think there was a couple on front porches. Like this wasn't a one-time shoebox Pizzo trick. This was like a bandit, like a true bandit was doing it, serial shitting where they shouldn't.
This person's a freak because if you get caught
freak.
shitting on a coffee table, what's your out there? It's not like, ooh, sorry, I didn't mean like
You're caught.
Yeah,
You're just a shit bandit.
that's just bold at that point
Correct.
in time.
That's what I mean. Talk about the onions or the ovaries. I don't know, or whatever. I don't know.
This is
Whoever did it. We don't know. Male, female, went to the school, didn't go to the school, but we know that there was a bandit from 2008 to 2012 at Western Michigan University, and it sounds like they visited your party. in
porch.
East
It's
Lansing.
like, hey, okay, you're playing like kind of like a childish.
Don't put it out with
prank.
your boots,
yeah.
Ted.
Yeah, exactly. Bathtub and then elevating it to a coffee table, like that's like a second degree misdemeanor in this state.
Literally is like a biohazard.
Yeah. And then the steaming part really got me.
Well, yeah, my buddy, I mean, it's like part of me is
how
like,
do you
what
clean
an idiot,
up a
right?
shit though? Yeah.
Right, but like you're mad, you didn't do it, you drew the short straw,
Yeah.
and no one treated the roommates nice and so you just turned on the fucking hot water and probably went back to sleep.
Is there any possibility not only that these are linked, but that Pizzo is the perpetrator at both Western and Michigan State?
You could definitely come to that conclusion.
Yes.
I got to get info from my Western crowd I'll get a collection of these shits and figure out when they happened and see where ice cold.
We got to get a
Brew is.
timeline and piece it together.
Yeah.
Put it on. We're going to go up against Dateline NBC this week on Friday night
This is
the
This is
mystery.
cold case.
Yes, that's right.
This is cold case right now. It's reopened.
That's right. That's right. Well,
That was like,
that was pretty unplanned, huh?
yeah, we just started.
That was off the cuff. I don't hate it, honestly.
No.
Well,
all the note says is 13 years ago, Pizzo. That's all I have. So I was like, all right, let's see what this is. I didn't know I'd have a whole second layer to it.
It's great, though. It's great. Well, speaking of waste management, Waste Management Open is this weekend, the PGA tournament. It takes place in Arizona, Scottsdale, to be exact. And the Waste Management is known for its electric crowd. So it's not like there's every golf tournament you go, everyone's doing the two-hand golf clap or
it's like the anti-golf.
Yes. It's like basically anything that is golf etiquette is not done at this tournament. And it culminates with the 17th hole, I believe. That's a par 3. And it's the stadium hole where they have all those bleachers. Everyone's kind of getting fired up before the shot, screaming. If you hit a hole in one, everyone's firing beers onto the green. 16th hole. Everyone's firing beers onto the green. So I saw a tweet, and we kind of saw it floating around today. The hole is 135 yards, okay? Let's just assume that the wind is still. You've got a nice 85-degree Arizona day. You're 135 yards out. You have two options, to play or not to play. Frank, for argument of this podcast, you're going to play this game, all right?
Yeah, of course.
So you get 24 hours. If you make a hole-in-one, 135 out, $5 million. If you don't get a hole-in-one in a 24-hour time span, you go to jail. Not jail, prison. Prison for a year.
Yeah.
Are you saying yes?
Dude, knowing me and my skill in going to prison for this, so, if you want to, nerd out about it,
I'm ready.
How long do you think, if you're really humming, right? Because let's just factor in so you start out, right? You're energized, you're well rested, you're fed, you're good to go, and you're firing these things. Boom, you see it miss. Boom, another one. Boom, you're letting them go. So what do you think that whole swing a minute max?
Max.
Okay. So, and how many? Okay, so you have 24 hours, right?
60 minutes, 60 times 24. That's about, 1440?
Yes, you nailed it. Jesus Christ. So you have 1,444 shots. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. To hit this thing. And that's if you're humming, you're not stopping. The odds I'm seeing online to get a hole-in-one in your life is 12,500 to 1.
Okay.
So to realistically, according to math, have a shot at that, you'd have to swing the club over 12,000 times.
Yep.
And in our scenario, we're swinging it about 1,400 times, and you're cooking, and we're not even bringing in fatigue. So if you want to look at it from a nerd math standpoint,
nerd out,
no chance.
Nerd out,
no chance. I'm not going to prison.
No chance.
And I'm not hitting that fucking shot.
Now let's do some variables because you mentioned as to why you wouldn't take the shot. So okay, the odds are against you. You're gonna fatigue, but you get the same exact shot every time.
Mm-hmm.
Not a different hole, not a different pin location, the same shot every single time. You get to see how it lands. You get to feel it. I feel like after 50, you've got a good grip on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get a hole-in-one, but we're talking about $5 million. This is if you want to, you can retire off of $5 million.
No, I get it, but it's prison for a year.
But it's a year in prison, and yes, there's no guarantee. It's not like you're getting guarded up in prison. You have to survive prison, too.
We're going to assume it's the worst prison experience you could have.
Yes.
That's what we're going to do.
That's what we're going to assume. Yes.
It's lame to say I wouldn't try it, but I probably wouldn't try it.
Right.
What about you? And I'm not a good golfer. I love the idea of having 24 hours to bang in a hole-in-one, but if I know I'm going to prison at the end of it, can you imagine that anxiety sets in when you got 1 hour left to hit a hole-in-one?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be lame, too, and say I probably wouldn't do it.
We know fucking Pizzo.
That's what I was just going to say.
I'd fucking rip it in the first time.
Dude, I darted up in 2 hours.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. But, yeah.
So, if you add some variables, there's things that would get me. If I had one guy on the green coaching me and one guy coaching my swing, I would need, two guys spotting me to, get
What, you got Hank Haney, your swing coach behind you?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Okay. I a year at this age, I feel like I'd turn into stone a year in prison.
Yeah.
I feel like the food, the experience,
the rate.
You're fucked up.
I think
Like
we're just
the rest of your
let's
life.
talk about the elephant in the room. I'm 145 pounds, Chandler. You're not a huge guy.
No.
We would be a tasty treat in prison, and we said it's the worst prison experience you could have.
Yes.
So for me, it's all fun and games till I don't put one in the hole.
Yeah.
And I'm getting one put in my
hole. The hole.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's good that I think we both came to our senses. We're both not confident in our golf game. We're very average golfers.
I just
at
feel
best.
like most podcasts would take that and be like, of course I'm doing that. Like, oh, you just got to do this and do that. Realistically, I'm probably not putting one in the hole, man. I'm just probably not. I'm not that good. And people are just overlooking how scary prison would actually be.
Very scary.
Scary stuff, man.
Very scary. Well, before we pivot to the Super Bowl, did want to mention Liv is in Vegas this weekend, which is pretty funny because I feel like Liv's like overshadowing the PGA right now. This is one of the PGA's big non-majors this week.
Yep.
Liv's going to be in the Super Bowl's backyard. Liv is on the Strip this week. Liv has Rahm. Liv is gaining steam with everything in the media. So I never thought the Liv would get this far. I'm wondering what you're thinking about the Liv as a whole.
I agree with you. I can't believe that they're this far, but I think the biggest thing for me is I'm just shocked at the sheer amount of money that they have.
It's crazy.
It's endless.
Endless.
It's actually endless.
It really is.
Because they're not turning any sort of profit. And
Not close.
I guess good for like disrupting the game, but there's something also of just like throwing a ton of money at stuff when you have an endless resource of it that, this wasn't like some startup disruptor that like made golf better, really. Right. Like we've had some things that have come out of it. It's been fun kind of banter back and forth.
Right.
But, I'm kind of I don't blame anyone for going to Live just because the money's astronomical.
It's
and
insane.
Like the idea of playing in
Life-changing.
your shorts
Yep.
and nothing matters and you're going to make $500 million. Like how could I dog anybody for that? But, just being more of a traditionalist, I feel like, the PGA stuff feels more like legitimate and historical and record breaking and like actually like I've never watched a Live match. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
I've never watched one.
It's way different. They try to put this team play into it a lot. I find it funny. We kind of alluded to it, like everything at the Waste Management's kind of anti-golf or anti-etiquette, and they have the music playing and the people chanting, and then they had the cut scene to John Rahm teeing off last week, and like Avicii's playing in the background of his first tee shot at Live. Like, they just do everything different, and I don't know where it's going to end. I don't know how it's going to end. I don't know if I thought a merger was supposed to happen, and now
I don't get it.
PGA's getting funding, and Liv is doing their own events, and they're getting more people. I don't understand the whole thing.
They were like 9/11 victims out there and stuff. Like it was just like and then they merged.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on, but it's just. It's very funny to me that Liv is in Vegas this weekend, the weekend of the Super Bowl, and the weekend of one of the biggest non-majors in the PGA, and it seems like they're starting to close that gap.
Well, this is like an in-your-face, like head-to-head of why it actually like sucks a little bit, just because with the majors, because it was crazy to me when I first learned like you can still play in the majors.
Yeah.
That blew my mind.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, why the hell wouldn't you go to Live for all that extra money if you can still play for a novice golf fan and like truly like I just watched the majors, a little bit of the Phoenix, maybe the Players, but like the fact that they can play in these majors, this is when it really takes a hit.
Yep.
It's on a weekend like this because now all the big names, like you said, are in Vegas.
Split up.
Yeah. That's when it sucks. And it does suck.
I agree. Get them all under the same roof. Let them play wherever, but then the PGA guys get cucked because they're not making the money.
It's just wild. Like you think back to like when our dads would talk about like, oh, the AFC and the NFC were two different leagues.
Yeah.
And it's like, that sucks. Why didn't everyone just play together?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I definitely have like a golf itch more than I've had.
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
Like,
Especially with this weather.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm like ready to go.
Yeah, I want to take less. I want to like get good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw you post the other day.
Yeah.
You're looking for, did you get some feedback?
I got a lot.
Okay,
I got
good.
a lot of responses of people with golf lessons. So I just got to go get one. I've never had one. Feel like it could help a little bit. We'll see.
Little bit. Don't go too deep. No one knows your swing like you.
Some people in there were just like, you don't need too much. Well, I think Jerry said swing as hard as you can, which I already do. which I thought was pretty good. Or maybe he said stop swinging so hard. It was one or the other. But someone did say, like, don't get too many lessons. But I feel like one could be helpful.
Yeah. You think we could fire some balls off into the Detroit River here in the summer?
Yes.
Just set up shop out back and fire some drivers out there.
How far do you think
Not clear, but I think we might.
We might be able to clear one. Put one through the window of Greektown.
Yeah. Hey, see what happens.
Greektown, Caesars.
See what happens. See what happens.
We should do that.
Yeah, let's try it out.
Probably get some environmentalists. Shit. Got to use balls that dissolve.
Oh, man.
Just use, like, gender reveal balls.
Yeah, hey, that'd be great. Be good. It's good for the fish. So, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Shall we? I know it doesn't have the luster that it usually does, but Super Bowl preview, Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers, repeat of the Super Bowl from 4 years ago now. San Francisco -2.5 now, opened at 2, I believe. Going to be playing Sunday, first Super Bowl in Las Vegas. Pretty ironic. Suites are about $2.5 to $10 million. It seems like their tickets are selling for more than my net worth. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it is going to be a spectacle. So we're going to get into a couple things, but let's do what we always do. Let's focus on the game itself first and your thoughts on the game.
So as I was saying to you and producer Mike before we started today, it's by far the least excited I've been for a Super Bowl in my entire life. I am emotionally exhausted and drained from the Lions run. I am mad that they're not there because I think the Lions are better than both of the teams playing there, which is just still banana land to say out loud. This is the Super Bowl that no one wanted. I tweeted that out as soon as the Lions lost, and I still agree with that. You have the dynasty of the Chiefs that's there every year, and they are the epitome of, you either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain, and that's what they've become. And I don't dog them for that. I respect the hell out of dynasties. I actually grew up loving dynasty teams because I grew up with the Red Wings. I don't blame teams for doing it, but from a pure fan perspective, just kind of sucks. It's just like, okay, they're back again. They're doing it again. It's the same teams. It's the same people. It's the same story. And on the other side, you have the San Francisco 49ers, who I dropped into the hate you forever category of the heat chart after they beat us, because fuck them. And I can't look at Brock Purdy's face and actually believe that guy is playing in a Super Bowl. So, and Mike Shanahan, Shanahan, I don't know. I don't like the 49ers at all after that game. So for me, if both teams could lose, I would love that. And I'm not that excited for anything regarding this Super Bowl, if I'm just being completely honest.
So the only thing you're excited about is if and when Taylor Swift's going to arrive from her concert in Tokyo from the previous night.
I mean, there's no denying, Chandler, that I am a Taylor Swift fan. I hate that she's been with Kelsey and roped into this whole thing, because I didn't want her a part of this world. Mm-hmm. I didn't need her in football. And now she's here, and I do like her, but so many people now hate her, and she's everywhere, and it's this whole big thing. I'll always love Taylor Swift's music, but I don't love her in this Kansas City Kelsey football thing. She can do what she wants, but I'm not a fan of it.
Taylor, we know you're listening and an avid listener.
Yes.
Frank is begging you to get out of this situation right now.
Well, it's once the contract ends with the NFL and Kelsey, which will happen after the Chiefs win the Super Bowl on Sunday.
There we go.
They'll be done by March.
There we go.
And she's got the new album coming in
That's
April,
right.
which you know about, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. I can't wait.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So I like how we've been breaking down the game. So first, why will the Chiefs win the Super Bowl this week, Frank?
Chiefs will win the Super Bowl because they're the goddamn Chiefs. They have Patrick Mahomes, they have Andy Reid, they have Travis Kelce, they have guys who have been there before. This is just another Super Bowl that they're going to. They will make it happen. Brock Purdy, brightest light, biggest stage he's ever been on. Last two games, I feel like he escaped. He played good when it counted, but he had a lot of things go his way for him to get in that position, and I feel like the luck runs out on Sunday, and the Kansas City Chiefs take care of the Niners.
Chiefs, why I think they would win. You hit the nail on the head. They've been there. They've got the experience. You've got the Bermuda Triangle, Mahomes, Kelsey, Reed. They've been part of every Super Bowl that they've been in these past couple years. So obviously you have that. And I'm going to go with their run game. You know what? Lou mentioned it, and I'm going to mention it. The Lions diced up the 49ers, the Packers, and what did Lou call Aaron Jones? Grandpa Jones.
Crazy. That was crazy. He's like 31.
Yeah, Grandpa Jones diced up the Chiefs, or excuse me, the 49ers as well on the ground. So I think if Pacheco gets going and gets running, they're going to control the game, and that's why I believe the Chiefs could win this game, is they control the ground, they control the game, and then they take their shots with the best quarterback in the league.
And I'll be honest, I wouldn't have said what I said, and what I didn't mention any of the run game stuff. I just went with just like Mahomes, Reed. You know, I wouldn't have said any of that if it weren't for that Baltimore game last week.
Yep.
I mean, I thought Baltimore was the best team in the NFL, and they stopped them. And I mean, it's just, to me, it was like, oh, Kelsey, you're not on the verge of retirement, I guess. Like he's played out of his mind.
He's played great. What did he have? 10 catches?
He has.
Catches?
I think he has 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns.
It's unbelievable.
No, he's. I think this is like what they do. Like they don't need to win every game in the regular season. They just know when it's playoff time. Let's dial it in.
Yep, exactly. All right, so I'm going to have to pry this one out of you, but why will the Niners win the game?
I mean, I think the only way the Niners win this game is, McCaffrey's got to go for 100+, and they got to control the clock and just keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. Chiefs defense, as we discussed before the show, it's not the Chiefs defense that was in the last Super Bowl versus the 49ers, where it was kind of Swiss cheese and it was all Mahomes kind of carrying the team. Mahomes is still very much carrying the team, but they have a defense that can play now. They make stops, shut down Lamar Jackson. But it's also not the most formidable D in the world. And if the Niners can run that ball and control the clock and just keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, they'll win this game.
Yep. Why the Niners, I think, could win this game. They've been the second best team all year. It was Ravens-Niners. It was always Ravens-Niners. That is what everyone thought the crash course was going to be for this Super Bowl. Besides a 3-game losing streak during the middle of the season, they've been impressive. Yep. They've come back. They've faced some tough circumstances in this playoffs. They've won both games. And you know what? I know you can't look at his face.
I can't.
But Brock Purdy has been good, and Brock Purdy's a top 5 MVP candidate, as much as I hate to say that now.
They won? Are you pumped they won a couple weeks? I'm just trying to figure this out.
No, I'm not pumped at all,
Sounds
but I'm trying to have some journalistic integrity and take my emotions out of it like I usually do. So I think, the Niners really have been one of the most complete teams from the first week of the season to now the Super Bowl. And you know what? From coaching down to special teams, they seem to be good in all areas of their game. And I think talent-wise, on paper, they're the better team than the Chiefs.
I would agree with that. I will agree with that. And I do a lot of talking with my heart, and they're like, fuck them. Like, that's my whole analysis on them. You know what's
good analysis?
You know what's funny about what they tweeted out like 2 days ago? It was against all odds. It was this little pump up video of them going to
the Niners.
Yes, it was a pump up video of them going to the Super Bowl. And the caption on it was against all odds with a dice because it's in Vegas. And someone quote tweeted it and just said, you were favored in every single one of your regular season games and all your playoff games. But yeah, sure, against all odds. They're favored in every single game this year, and that's what they went with on a gambling pun from Vegas.
Against all odds, and in the playoffs, touchdown favorites in both of their games.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's a bold one.
If they tweeted that out the moment they were down 24-7 to us, maybe after the game,
don't remind
Lions
me.
Game, yeah.
Don't remind me.
Dude, I fucking hate them.
Well, you know what the best thing about the Super Bowl is, regardless who's in it, all the bets that the sports books give you, they have the craziest, wackiest bets. This is the most bet event all year, regardless of the sport. So I thought, let's go visit the Detroit Prop Exchange with Frankie Fast Hands and Channy Football. We're on the trading floor. We've been working the phones. We're ready to give you our favorite bets, our somewhat long shots, our Hail Mary double doink long shots, and we're going to give you a Pistons winning the title. Tom Gores is a scumbag. Not going to happen, but still possible bet of the week.
I almost feel like that should be changed to Pistons winning the title. Tom Gores is not a scumbag.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like everything would have to, it would be just bonkers.
That's crazy.
If we found out he wasn't a scumbag.
That's right. But I can't call him not a scumbag. And those are going to be over 10-1 odds for those. But let's start with Frank. Your favorite prop bet of the week. Odds do not matter on this one.
So, I mean, it's lame. Like, I want to give you like the weirdest, which direction the Jets are going to fly and all that. But we all know that's just a coin flip. The one I just love, Kelce is plus 100 to score a touchdown. Okay. I mean, it's plus 100 for Travis Kelce, who has 4 touchdowns, 3 or 4 touchdowns already this playoffs. It's the whole Taylor thing. He is the face of the NFL. Mahomes is going to find him. And it's plus 100. To me, that's even money. Whatever your unit is, throw it on it. Kelce's catching a touchdown in this game.
Kelce's catching a touchdown.
I guarantee it. I guarantee Kelce catches a touchdown.
You heard it here first, folks. Yeah. He guarantees Kelce will catch a touchdown.
It's not crazy. I'm not saying it's a crazy guess. It's there at even money. Why would you not take that?
Hey, that's why we're here at the Detroit Prop Exchange. We're giving you a plethora of options that you can pick from. I'm going to go same position, different team. My favorite bet of the week, George Kittle, anytime touchdown. Little bit juicier of odds, plus 185. Do you know what his stats were last week against us?
Not great.
2 catches, 27 yards. He was in a Super Bowl 4 years ago. I feel like this guy's the most ready to come back and avenge that and to try to win this Super Bowl for the Niners. So I'm going to give you a little bit juicier odds, plus 185, George Kittle, anytime touchdown.
I like that. And it just drives me so nuts because everyone said before that game, like, if San Fran's going to win, Kittle's got to go off.
Yep.
And he did.
And he did.
He did nothing, and Goff didn't make a mistake, and
we still lost. All right, next one. Next bet on the prop exchanges are somewhat long shots. So, Frank, this is a plus 200 to plus 500 bet that you like. Are you going to guarantee it?
I can't guarantee it. But if anybody here listening, is like sick of me talking through my heart, you just turn this off now, because there is a juicy one at plus 210. What will Brock Purdy do first? Throw an interception or throw a touchdown.
Wow.
Yep. And interception is plus 210.
Good snipe there.
Yep.
Wow.
That is on FanDuel.
Okay.
And I believe to throw a touchdown first is like minus 250. So to throw an interception first is plus 210. The other reason I feel very confident about that bet is watching the Lions San Fran game a couple weeks ago. My buddy texted me and said, man, that first Purdy interception is going to hit like crack. In that moment, I took Purdy interception live. He threw the pick to Malcolm Rodriguez like 3 plays later.
Did it hit like crack?
It hit like crack, especially because I took it live.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Plus 210. I like that. That's a snipe. I didn't even see that on the board.
It's a weird one because it's not will he throw a pick. It's what will he do first.
Right.
I don't know, like,
right.
That wording makes it a little different.
People, this is why you're listening to the Detroit Prop Exchange. We are digging for you and giving you value. Disclaimer, we're not financial advisors.
We are rats.
All right. Somewhat long shot that I like, plus 200 to plus 500. I'm going to stick with the same guy, and I'm going to do alt yards. Alternative yards, 80-plus yards for George Kittle is plus 310. I think he has a big game. He's all about that, like, tight end group, that tight end university or whatever they call it. Him, Hawkinson, Kelce, they all get together in the offseason and, like, work out together and do their stuff together. So I think he's trying to make a statement this week, seeing that Kelce's in this game. I love his alt yards. I think his regular yards are 49.5. Give me him 80-plus yards at plus 310.
I like it.
All right.
Are you writing these down?
I am.
Okay, awesome, because I'm not.
I am.
But here, so were you going to go to the next level?
No, go ahead. You got another one?
So I have that one, you said somewhat long shot was 200 to 500.
Yes.
I gave a 210.
Yep.
I feel like that's, let's get a little juicier. So
Honest man.
I have 3 very fun ones, not guaranteeing them, just things I liked in the depths of the app.
Sure.
Okay. So Chris Jones and Nick Bosa to both over have half a sack. So the 2 top sack guys on each team to each have a shared sack.
Yep.
That together is plus 340.
Wow.
Right?
Love that.
Just numbers. CMC, the guy who to score 1 rush or to score 1 touchdown is minus 230, right? Chalk bet. To have 2 rushing touchdowns is plus 410. That doesn't even feel right.
Wow. Plus 410
for 2 rushing.
Gotta be rushing. Okay.
Specifically rushing.
Okay.
But I still feel like that's not that nuts.
No.
And then the last one, this one's a fun one, is for the final score to be the exact score of a past Super Bowl. Yes,
Ooh.
is plus 410.
Wow.
Which I thought was kind of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So we got like 60 scores or whatever. What one are we on, by the way?
We are on, what? I don't even know what this year is.
The
LV 111 58.
That doesn't help me at all.
Is it 58? I think it might be.
What Super Bowl are we on?
I'm pretty sure it's 58.
58. Nice call.
Yep.
So we have 57 scores that it could line up with. I'll read them all now. Just kidding. But that is an option.
Okay. Well, let's go to another one here, and that is our Hail Mary double doink long shot. Mm-hmm. So that is comprised of bets that are plus 500 to plus 1,000, otherwise known as 5 to 1 or 10 to 1. So what's your Hail Mary double doink long shot, Frank?
So they have these this prop on FanDuel that you have to hit the top passer in the game, the top receiver in the game, and the top rusher in the game.
Okay.
So I looked at all of them. There's a million combinations.
Yeah.
The one I liked, Mahomes, top passer in the game, obviously. Receiving, Raji Rice,
okay.
Top receiver in the game, top rusher in the game, CMC. So if you go...
what's that at?
Plus 820.
Okay. Plus 820. So that is Mahomes,
Rice, and CMC.
Rice, CMC, top.
So you got Mahomes and CMC are obviously favored in their categories. I don't know who would be, maybe Ayuk or Kelsey.
Yep.
I'm going to go Rashi Rice.
Okay.
I think he actually rocks.
Awesome. Plus 820. So I'm not doing like a wacky combo on this one. I'm going to go with an anytime touchdown scorer, and I'm going to go with a tight end, Noah Gray. For the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City always runs that weird motion where they're running to the right and then they shovel a pass back on a tight end across the middle. They looked at Noah Gray last week in the red zone against the Ravens. He got a catch in the red zone. And I feel like all the attention is going to be on Travis Kelce, both on and off the field. So Noah Gray at plus 950 for someone who gets red zone looks.
950?
It's wild. I took Sky Moore last year as anytime touchdown, and he was 4.5 to 1. They just find these guys in the big games, and they're just kind of off the board. So I like Noah Gray anytime touchdown. That's at 9.5 to 1.
What I feel is funny when you bet Kansas City, whether you take Kelsey, you take Noah Gray, or you take that white wide receiver that they have. I don't know his name.
White wide receiver?
Yeah, it's like Dan Schneider, or like it's seriously like
really.
Yeah, it's like Dan Smith from the Key and Peele skit. I can't think of his name, but so like Kelsey's 87, right?
Yeah.
And Noah Gray's 84 or 83.
Yep.
And then this white guy's like 83 or 82. If I'm making this guy, I'm not making this guy up.
Is it Blake Bell?
No, it's let's just find this guy.
Yeah, because Noah Gray's 83.
Chiefs wide receivers. No. Dude, I'm telling you, they got a white wide out.
Do they? Do you think Kadarius Toney's playing this week?
Justin Watson.
Justin Watson
is number 84. So when you have any one of these guys like to do anything, it's like I can't, like when the ball gets caught, you have to like pause for like 5 seconds to figure out who it actually was because they all look the same.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Hey,
just throwing that out there. And
Jay
their numbers
Watts.
are all in the 80s. They're all big white guys. So just throwing that out there.
Jay Watts. All right, let's go to the one we've all been waiting for. It has been edited. The name of it has been edited. The Pistons winning the title. Tom Gores is not a scumbag. Not going to happen, but still possible. Bet of the week. This is at 10-1 or greater odds. Tom Gores is a scumbag. Frank, who do you have for this bet, or what do you have?
It sounds chalky, but the number's so big, and it's like, why not? Travis Kelce, MVP. Guy catches 3 touchdowns. Taylor Swift's there. He proposes on the field. She says no.
Right.
They break up. The contract expires. New album comes out. It's about trashing him. He ends up going into a career of action movies alongside The Rock and John Cena.
And then Roger Goodell's dick is rock hard because everyone is watching the NFL at that point.
And Taylor's album skyrockets, exposing Kelce is like abusive or something.
There we go.
Not physically, maybe like emotionally.
Yeah. This is not my pick, but I'm a George Kittle simp this week. And
yeah, you are.
Seeing him at 15-1 for 2 touchdowns is wild to me. That's not my pick, though. I'm going way bigger than that.
Good.
Tom Gores is a fucking scumbag, and the Pistons are not winning the title. I'm going big time on this one. I'm giving you guys a 26-1 bet. And I don't really like the over, but the over might have to hit for this to hit. I'm going each team with a touchdown and a field goal in each half, 26-1.
Wow.
So
each half,
each team, field goal, touchdown, 26-1.
that seems nuts. Not every quarter.
Not every quarter. Each half.
Yeah, I'm banging
26-1 on the game. It's under your game specials. So you know what? You can go down. You can go from plus 2,000 to plus 4,900, and you can find that at 26-1 if each team scores a touchdown and kicks a field goal in each half. You can get it at 26-1.
Moody will fucking doink one in the fourth to fuck that up.
He could. That could be part of my Hail Mary double doink long shot, though.
It could be.
It could be. But this is what we do at the Detroit Prop Exchange. We bring you value, and we open your eyes to blind spots that you cannot see.
Yep.
With that, we're going to open your eyes to our final advice of the week. Disclaimer, we are not financial advisors. We do lose money sometimes doing this. Frank,
yes.
What is your game prediction?
You know, I feel like this is one of those games where, last week, Baltimore, Kansas City, you kind of expect this high-flying aerial show, and it just didn't happen. And I feel like that kind of is been the story with Kansas City Chiefs in these big games. They're a lot they're lower scoring than you would normally think.
Yep.
The only reason I am even considering the Niners to win this game at all is because of the gambling numbers. San Fran has been favored at 2.5 this whole week. The money is pouring in 70-80% on the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the only reason I'm considering the 49ers, but I can't do it. I hate the 49ers, and I truly don't think they're going to win this game. I can't watch that Baltimore Chiefs game and then the Lions-Niners game and say that the Niners are going to win that game. I'm going Kansas City Chiefs 27-23 final.
Okay. Well, I am going to use my favorite saying that I always use. When it looks too easy, it is too easy for the other team. And I came out right after the NFC Championship and we had our podcast, and I said, I don't know how the Chiefs can't win this game. I really don't know how they can't win this game. They look like the better team. They've been the better team through the playoffs. And then the money starts coming in. And then the money starts coming in more. And then the line starts moving in favor of the 49ers. And someone tweeted it out, and I cannot get it out of my head. This is a spitting image of a Super Bowl just a couple years ago when Tampa Bay and Kansas City played. And all the money was on Kansas City, and very few people gave Tampa Bay a chance. And Tampa Bay absolutely boat raced Kansas City in that game. And I don't think it's going to be a boat race. But again, when it seems too easy, it is too easy. Take the other team. I've got the Niners unfortunately winning this game. And I've got them winning a very similar score to you, 27-20. And Frank, just keep sports talk, keep sports television off, because all you're going to hear after Brock Purdy wins a title is how he's the next Tom Brady because he was picked in the 7th round and he won a Super Bowl and he led his team and yada, yada, yada. Because you can't look at that Brock Purdy face, as you famously said earlier this podcast.
I hate that face.
You're going to be seeing that face a lot over the next month after the 49ers beat the Chiefs.
I hope not. That's all I got.
I hope not either.
I hope not, because, yeah, I just no, I can't believe that guy's in the Super Bowl.
I really hope not either. And I'm hoping maybe we can queue up Lou. I know Lou had a couple things that he wanted to give.
Oh, yeah.
For his picks.
Yeah.
In the interim, while we fill it and while we bring it up, anything or what are you most looking forward to outside of the game? I know you're a Swiftie.
Yeah, but again, in this setting, I don't need any of that.
Do you have a Swift Chiefs jersey?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. What am I looking forward to in this game?
Are you looking forward to Usher at all?
No, my wife is. Usher's fine. Like, okay. I have nothing against Usher. He doesn't, nothing will ever top, the Eminem Dre halftime performance.
What about Taylor Swift at halftime?
Taylor Swift would be awesome, but if we want to get into it, the Super Bowl the NFL has been asking Taylor to do the Super Bowl for a long time.
Yep.
She turns it down because it's like almost below her at this point, but they say, okay, we got something bigger. Why don't you date Travis for this whole year? We'll make you the face of Pfizer. We'll make you the face of DirecTV. We'll make you the face of State Farm. These are all the 3 biggest contributors to the NFL. Everyone knows that. Taylor Swift has brought in more female viewership than anyone could in the entire world. She has a new album dropped coming in April, and then she starts her world tour. To me, Chiefs win this Super Bowl. They ride off into the sunset. They break up by the end of March. She goes on her tour with this whole new album, and they have a great deal in place for whatever the hell this charade was this whole season. But that's just my opinion, okay? That has nothing to do with anything else. This Super Bowl, I'm just looking forward to being over so we can start getting ready for the NFL draft.
Hey, that's fair is fair. I'll tell you what I'm least looking forward to: the commercials and the talk around the commercials after the Super Bowl. Stop. I got my face in my phone during commercial breaks. I'm fucking working during this Super Bowl. Live lines. What's going to happen next drive? I don't got time to see the Clydesdales from Budweiser. I don't have time to have a QR code pinging around the screen. I got to look at plus 300 for Justin Watson to catch a pass next drive. So that's what I'm least looking forward to is, this commercial was funny. Yeah, don't bring it up to me because I'm not going to know, because I'm not going to watch one damn commercial. What I'm most looking forward to is just Vegas. I want to see Vegas and what that looks like, what the spectacle looks like. Vegas has always been synonymous with the Super Bowl because it's the biggest gambling day. You now mesh the two together. What does that scene look like?
Yeah.
That's like the moon hitting the sun.
The one issue I have with, not the one issue, I've been bitching about the Super Bowl this whole show, but Joe Burrow has said it, and I think I've said it on this show before. Joe Burrow said the Super Bowl to him felt like a dinner party. And that's what I think the biggest issue is with the Super Bowl and the NFL, because you have these AFC and NFC championship games, and they're in the respective stadiums of whoever it is, and the actual fans are there, and it's bonkers. It's crazy. It's going berserk. We saw how nuts it was at the end of the San Fran game. Obviously, we saw all the playoff games at Ford Field leading up to that game. But when you get to the Super Bowl, the cheapest ticket for the last row is $7,000. You're not getting those type of fans. You're not even getting fans of the teams that are there. They are going there as a social hangout, whatever you want to call it, business thing, because they have to be there. Joe Burrow said it was so silent in there, you could hear the players talking on both sides. And that's just an issue I have with the Super Bowl in general, is that for the biggest game of the year, it's arguably one of the least rowdy games that's going on. So while I do agree with you, it does sound nuts, and I bet you the streets and outside the stadium will be bonkers. Inside, these are very, very wealthy people, sipping tea and
It's a business
crumpets.
meeting.
Yes.
It's a business meeting. It's a corporate meeting at that point, and I agree with you. The people we were boots on the ground with all season, unfortunately, they get priced out of it. Yeah. They're the real fans. Sorry, I looked at my text. Lou's texting us, and I thought it was something important or he had something to add value. And
Did
he's
he
like,
catch the shit bandit?
He's like, look at this hat I bought, and he's got some dumbass beach hat with a strap on it. So
a strap on?
Like a strap on it. Like one of those like little like strings underneath, you know.
He has like 20 of those.
Yeah, that's what the guy. If you want, just start his clip because I'm going to try to catch up to what he's trying to. He's calling me Hermano too.
Why is he doing that?
I don't know. The guy thinks he's.
I got the mic off the holder here, so let's get Pizzo's. This was Pizzo's insight on the Super Bowl since he wasn't able to be here. I am looking for our chat right now. There it is. Okay. All right, here we go. I got all the selfies. All right.
Hola, que paso, mi hermanos from Detroit. I miss you, boys. Welcome back. Buenos tardes. First of all, it's good afternoon for you fucking sheep out there who don't know Spanish. But ice cold. Couldn't leave the boys hanging on Super Bowl weekend. I had to come in with a couple picks live. I am going with the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend, boys. Give me the Chiefs winning this one 31-28. I think it's another close one. I'm done with San Fran squeaking out these close games. They can go fuck themselves. Yep. Chiefs win on the money line. Chiefs win with the points too, obviously. Pacheco, this guy's going to go fucking wild. Packers rush for over 130. Lions rush for over 180. It's really fucking that easy.
Grandpa
Don't
Jones.
overthink this one. Give me tails on the coin toss. I got the blue Gatorade being splashed on Andy Reid at the end of this one. And then a couple fun parlays here just to keep an eye on. Yeah. Give me Kelsey, 2 touchdowns. Ayuk over 60 receiving. And Juszczyk over 25 yards receiving. That one's plus 5,500.
He's had a couple
margaritas. Yeah. Bear with me. And I love Juszczyk over 25 yards receiving at plus 500. That is a fucking mortal. Put that one in. If you want to be a little safer, go ahead and take Kansas City plus 2. McCaffrey over 40 yards receiving. Kittle over 50 yards receiving. And Pacheco over 70 yards rushing. That one's plus 1,200. Let's get after it. Enjoy it. Soak it in, baby. God bless.
Go safe for 12-1.
Yeah, you guys got all that? You guys rip all that down? Honestly, great video. So I just want to describe what I'm looking at during that video. It's like Pizzo's on the most. The background looks like a Zoom, like a fake Zoom background. That's how like the beach looks. I mean, it looks awesome. I don't know what he's wearing. He has like a satchel on. Like he's like, what is that? What?
I have no idea.
So he has like a satchel on, but I think the funniest part of this is like I've kind of I have this like Wing Wheel podcast hat that sits on the fridge, and I was kind of wondering where the hell it went. And I'm watching this video of him in Mexico, and he's wearing it. So I think that's just pretty good that he took the hat from the office. You deserve it, Big Lou. Enjoy the vacation. We'll see you when you get back. So, yeah, that's it. That's the Super Bowl. And I'm sorry if I bummed anybody out about it. I mean, what the fuck? The Lions were on the doorstep, and I think they're better than both teams. And I hate Purdy's face, so it's tough for me. So, we'll move on from the Super Bowl. Hope everyone that is excited for it, if you're into Usher, all that, have a good time. Red Wings, kind of wild week. Lions get eliminated. We're done with the Lions, and then the Wings go on the All-Star break, and they're on a 9-day break before another game. So we're kind of just sitting tight. NHL All-Star game happened. DeBrincat had a
big game,
hell of a weekend. Yeah. 3 goals, 3 assists, and one of them being a game winner. I'll be honest, I did not watch much of this. The NHL All-Star game, I think, has just lost a little allure for me. I feel like when we were kids, it was like the coolest thing in the world. There was always like 4 Red Wings in it, and there's hardest shot and fastest skater, and I don't know. And maybe it's just getting older, and you're not as interested in it. But to me, it's just like DeBrincat was picked like months ago to be our All-Star. There's no way he would actually be our All-Star. It would probably be Larkin, but I'm hoping for DeBrincat that this was a confidence boost skate, that he was able to put in 3 goals, 3 assists, hang out with all the boys, put on a nice show. His kid was there, just had another kid.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm hoping, it lights a little fire under his ass, because coming out of this break, man, we are in a deadlocked race with about 5 to 7 or 8 other teams. So I think this now, coming out of this All-Star break, we have a lot of road games. It's not going to be an easy schedule. This is where Lalonde really needs to earn his keep. This is when he's got to dig in, motivate these guys, and we got to win some tough games. And you're doing it with our third-string goaltender, who is now the starter. He's definitely earned it. He definitely is the starter, but you never know when that can go cold. And you got to get production out of your big dogs. Patrick Kane's coming back. He's been producing, but we haven't been winning when he's in the lineup. Got to start winning these games. Huge push. Absolutely need to do whatever you can to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I did tune in a little bit to the All-Star Weekend. I kind of like the NHL All-Star Weekend. It's not gimmicky like the NBA, where
it's the best one there is.
Yeah, I was gonna say hey, if I have a prop now in the slam dunk contest, you win. It's not the best dunk. Like you can't prop out McDavid zooming around the ice and being the fastest skater. So I think they've done a pretty good job with it. And like you mentioned, DeBrincat, great weekend. Hopefully that carries over into the second half of the season. I did the numbers. We are on pace for 95 points this year. 8th seed last year was 91 points.
Yep.
So we're big math guys this episode. That means we're on pace to make the playoffs right now.
Yeah, and I believe, pull up the tape, Mike. Just kidding, you don't have it. At the start of the season, I predicted 7th seed, 94 points.
You did.
I believe was the prediction.
You did.
So it's been a roller coaster. I mean, I didn't think we'd win 9 and lose 9 and win 9 and lose 9, but we're right here. We're right in the thick of it. Toronto just lost last night coming out of the break. It's right there for the taking, and you just got to take it.
And I think what we have to do is kind of take a breath, because we're coming out of this break. We have the Canucks at home, and then we do a West Coast trip, which I believe includes the Canucks. It includes Edmonton, who's won 16 straight.
They just lost last
to
night.
Vegas last night. They
Yes,
lost,
they
so
just
it
lost, yep.
snapped at 15. I mean, you've got some tough games coming up in these next 2 weeks, 10 days. But I'm interested to see what we do at the deadline. We not just the Red Wings, but every Detroit team has been a seller at the deadline for many years now. Do we have a stockpile of assets? We've drafted very well these last couple of years. That's part of the Iser plan, is you get these young players, you keep them overseas, you get them in your system, and then we're going to be good in 3 to 4 years. Do we make a move? Not that we're going to trade Casper or any of our top prospects, but do you think there's a chance we make a move knowing that, hey, we can get into the playoffs, and seeding is the least important in the NHL out of any of the 4 major sports?
Absolutely. And I think Yzerman's going to keep that open until the very last minute of the deadline. I'm curious to see how it progresses. I'm sure he's got names and ideas in the back of his head, but if we're there and there's a chance to make it, I think he'll strike.
Okay. Can we make a deal?
Yeah.
If the Red Wings make the Eastern Conference Finals, me and producer Mike get the keys to the office, and we get to work here all week, the week of the Eastern Conference Finals, since you'll be out of town.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah, Mike has.
And
keys.
one disclaimer: you buy me Eastern Conference Finals tickets, and I'll do coverage from there.
Yeah.
And Jerry, we put it on the company credit card.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? Because if they're in the Eastern Conference Finals and I have this vacation plan, we might be filing for some divorce, because there's going to be some conflict of interest between my marriage and the Wings.
You might be exercising the trip insurance.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which we just purchased that yesterday.
Oh, well, team that's going to be going on a trip here soon to Cancun or somewhere warm is the Pistons. They're gutless. They're god-awful. Probably the last time we'll talk about them this week, because they're just so putrid, and the only news that we'll have left is the trade deadline. Saw they made some lateral moves here today, trading Monty Morris, getting a young stretch 4 from Utah. I can't even pronounce his name. Apologize for that. In all that, we do not have a second-round pick until 2027. That is the next 3 years for anyone counting, and we still owe the Knicks a first-round draft pick. So with that, Detroit, any Pistons fans, I don't know if there's any left at this point because Tom Gores is such a scumbag. But with that, we can only hope that we trade Alex Burks and or Bojan Bogdanovic tomorrow to get some of our depleted draft capital back. That's all I have.
Yeah, I have nothing.
I mean, my mom's husband is a season ticket holder. He's got the VIP club to every game.
Oh, my God.
And at this point, it would be tough for me to take those tickets for free.
Without a doubt.
Not because I couldn't eat and drink all night for free, but because I got to sit there and sulk and be miserable and just contribute to a scumbag for 2.5 hours.
The scumbag meter's at 6.
6?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And do I get like a negative one because I called him not a scumbag in our bet?
I wasn't counting those.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, good.
I believe.
That was a title.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I could have lost count, but it's somewhere in there.
Gotcha. Long and short, have some fucking pride, would you?
Amen. Fucking A. All right. Well, I didn't tell Jerry that we were doing recording again tonight, but he sniffed it out. So I'm just the worst at telling him, I'll be honest. But he's great. Sent the over-under list. So let's wrap up Fizz 140, as we always do with over-under. Channy, we'll start with you because you're the only one. Well, Mike's here, but you get it. Number 1, Super Bowl Media Week.
Super Bowl Media Week is overrated. There's so much media coverage now with social media. Like, it was a big thing when you didn't have so many outlets able to get news so much, be able to be so personal with the athletes and get to know them. Now it seems like a waste. It seems like fluff. Let these guys practice for the game. Let these guys prepare for the game. I don't need them sitting on the field talking to the media for 2 to 3 straight days. Overrated.
I'm going to say underrated because if the Lions were in the Super Bowl, it would probably be so awesome to just hear all the stories of all the players. And I mean, this is the pinnacle of so many people's career, and you just get so much inside access to them. And like, I feel like this is what you're paid to do. Like, I feel like this is kind of just part of being in the Super Bowl. Like, it's not just the opponent on the other side. It's not just to win a championship. Like, you got to survive this whole fucking media firestorm. Your family's reaching out, friends, all that stuff. I feel like it just adds to the allure and the pressure of being in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's just part of it. Underrated. Number 2, we'll snake it. So I'm up, and no pun intended on this snake it one. But number 2, the Drake leak. I assume this is talking about there is a video going around of Drake's dick. Mm-hmm. Is he beating it? Is he swinging it? I haven't seen it. I
haven't seen it either, to be honest.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it. I don't know. I've heard in the group chat that he's either he's hacking it or he's swinging it. I don't know, but either way, I've heard it's a large. He has a large unit. I've heard it's a large unit. I feel like that's good press for Drake, whether it was accidental or not supposed to be. Either way, his large unit is now up there, which I'm guessing increases his stock with his female fans. So I'll say underrated. Good for you, Drake. Underrated.
Yeah, I guess anytime you're swinging your unit around and getting some good publicity from it, I mean, we could only hope here at Champaign that
PR
that was
101.
Yeah.
My unit leaks, bad PR. Drake's units out there, good PR.
I'm going to say underrated as well.
Great. I wish Pizzo was here for that one.
Yeah.
We should call him. Number 3, Baja Blast from Taco Bell. Whew.
We snaking it?
Yeah, it's you. I just went.
Oh, okay.
Twice in a row.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yes. Okay, we'll do that. Yep. Baja Blast, underrated.
Wow.
I love Baja Blast, but I've got a hack for you all at home. We're off the Detroit Prop Exchange, but we're still giving you value on this podcast. If you want to make your own homemade Baja Blast, Blue Powerade and Mountain Dew, mix them together. You have your own homemade Baja Blast. Underrated.
Wow. I feel like Baja Blast is touted as like just the absolute goat of fast food pops. And I'm not that into it. I don't think it's that great. I don't remember the last time I ordered a Baja Blast, but then again, you're talking to a guy who gets like unsweetened iced tea. So that's lame in its own right. Baja Blast overrated coming from a lame ass who gets unsweetened iced tea. So, I'm making myself seem real cool with this over-under.
Just
here.
start swinging your unit.
Yeah,
You'll
my
get cred
small,
back.
my small penis and my unsweetened iced teas. All right, number 4, Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed, R.I.P. just passed away. What's the actor's name? Do you know, Mike?
Yeah, Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. R.I.P. to the legend. And he's in active commercials right now with Gronk, which is crazy. I'll say underrated out of respect for Apollo Creed. I'll be completely honest, and this is one of those like embarrassing things to admit. I haven't seen all the Rockies, and I haven't seen the new Creeds I haven't seen the new Creeds, which I feel like is, I feel like that's something to be embarrassed of. But I'll say underrated, just to be a sheep about it.
Yeah, I'm going to say underrated as well. I haven't seen the newest Creed. I think Creed 2, but I have seen Creed. And one of the best fictional characters of all time, Apollo Creed, like, I feel like he was a real guy. You know, he's so well known. Like, you think he's a real guy, and that's partially because of the Rocky movies and partially because of how good Carl Weathers was being Apollo Creed. Former football player, which is what I found out. So, R.I.P. to Carl Weathers. Weathers. Apollo Creed, underrated.
I love it. All right, number 5, Channy, national anthem over under prop bet. Over or underrated?
I mean, there cannot be an overrated bet in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is all about betting and betting crazy lines that aren't put out the rest of the year. This is a sicko's haven this Sunday. Everybody enjoy it. Take it in. I know it's a little salty this year, but hey, it only comes around once a year, and you can only get this much action on your book once a year. Underrated for any bet in the Super Bowl.
So I will say the national anthem over under prop bet, if they have like these deals going on, deposit $5, get 150 free bet or whatever the hell it is. If you don't bet, this is an absolutely exhilarating bet to take, especially if it's close to the number. And it's always really dicey of when the song actually ends on that last note. I've taken this a few times, and it's a lot of fun to watch, especially if you have the whole room in on it and you have opposing sides. It's a fun one to take. So check that out. And if you don't know what the hell, if you're not a gambler and you don't know what the national anthem over under prop bet is, they put a time of how long the national anthem will be. And whatever that time is, if it's over or under, that's what you're picking on. Are you pulling it up right now?
I'm pulling up who was singing it, and it's Reba McEntire.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know how long it is for the actual prop bet.
Let's see if we got one.
I'm reading the article here. Jerry catching us off guard with this.
We should know this.
We didn't have it on the Detroit Prop Exchange.
I'm looking to see. Okay. Super Bowl national anthem over under for Reba McEntire has been set at 1 minute and 30.5 seconds.
Wow. That seems quick.
Short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she's not like a boomer type.
Yeah.
She doesn't stretch it out. I don't know. I don't know
either.
I'm taking the over. She's going to be hanging out. I know it. She's going to soak in the moment. All right, well, that's it. Episode 145. Before we sign off, want to let everyone here know about the Champagne Showcase. It is year 3 of the tournament. It is held at Clark Park, which is an outdoor ice arena. I call it the best hidden gem in Detroit. Beautiful scene. We get 4 hockey teams out there, but it's not about that at all. It's about getting together, hanging out with friends, and raising money for the Clark Park Coalition. So like I said, Clark Park is a beautiful outdoor ice arena with lights and ice, a Zamboni and boards and all that. And they always need funding to help keep that park alive. So we host the Champagne Showcase. We take donations. We have raffles. It's a good time. We're hanging out, eating, drinking. And so that is Friday, February 23rd from 6 to 10 p.m. If you got nothing going on, come hang out with us, throw $10 in the bucket, give back to a good cause, and you guys can hang out with us all night. So hope to see you in a couple of weeks on Friday, February 23rd at the Champagne Showcase. And that is it. That is episode 140. Please share this with your friends, family, and everyone in between so we can keep growing this thing. And we will see you next week.
Enjoy it, sickos. Have a great Sunday.
See you.